Our dear beloved Creator energy is here and now with us. We know that in this energy we are protected and directed. We pay extra close attention to the feeling and the information that we allow to flow into our awareness at these shifting times, this powerful transition from dark to light. We are the assembly of people, and we are assembled to do the work of the people and for the people on Oregon. As we do not accept authority of any other over us, we hold no authority over any other, but that we request and urge others, like us and unlike us, to join in this battle by learning what is at the root of this battle, that they study the way we have found to address and win this fight for the light over darkness, for the protection of our freedom, and for the recognition, defense, and tenacity of our God-given free will. We are of God. God is within us. No separation therein. And so it is.
Thank you, Charlie. You knocked it out of the park.
Creator.
Yeah. My name's Ron Drummond. I'm the old white man talking head of the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. Well, with me tonight is Charlie and William. Would you guys introduce yourselves, ladies first?
Sure. My name's Charlie. I'm the director of the Action Committee for the Statewide Jural Assembly on Oregon.
I'm William Pell. I do technology for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, television show and whatnot.
First, you must comprehend de jure as juxtaposed to de facto. That may require actually looking up the words and reading the actual definitions. Let's suppose you know de facto is illegal and illegitimate. De jure is lawful and legitimate. That's from Black's Law. There is incontrovertible evidence that the de facto knows what they are doing. The word incontrovertible is not in Black's Law. Webster has it. That's kind of interesting to me. Unalienable or unalienable, as some patriots say it, is in Black's Law, but it's not in Webster's. Now, that's even more interesting. Sharon's going to send me a paper on unalienable, unalienable, and inalienable. There's a reason why the guys that wrote that used the word unalienable, and they're removing it from the language. My dictionary, 1977, does not even have the fifth or seventh word in the Declaration of Independence, unalienable, in the book, but it's in Black's Law. That's important. It really, I don't know why, but it is. So anyhow, I sent this email today to a whole bunch of people on Oregon, and when I got done, I cleaned it up a little better, and I sent it out to Seth Thurham, the U.S. DOJ, the deputy attorney on Oregon assigned to me, and the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. There was three of us that used to go visit him frequently. Then there's Carl. He's a U.S. Marshal. Mark, a U.S. Marshal. Elizabeth, an FBI agent. Paige, the DA in Marion County. Kevin, the DA in Washington County. Pat, the sheriff in Washington County. The National Guard Provost Marshal, Rocky. And Nicholas Paulson, the JAG attorney for Oregon National Guard. Then there's Rhonda Groshong, the city chief of police for Beaverton. And then there's the sheriff of Marion County. Then there's John, the undersecretary of, the undersheriff for Washington County. Terry Davey, the superintendent of the Oregon State Police, the ones that murdered Robert Lavoy Finicum. Then Bill Kirby, the city attorney for Beaverton. Ellen, the attorney general for Washington. No, attorney general for state of Oregon. Then Jane Vito, the county attorney for Marion County, and Lisa, the counsel for the Oregon Supreme Court. Cody's a sheriff over in Eastern Oregon. A. Queen in the DA's office. Jennifer in the DA's office. Johnson, who's the Dexter, is the legislative counsel. Then Senator Kim Thatcher. Senator, begins with a B. Do you remember, Charlie? Brian Boquist or
Boquist. Yeah.
yeah.
Brian Boquist.
Then Dennis Lithicum, then our Secretary of State, Fagan, Representative Christine Drazen, and Miles, the nice man from the Legislative Council's office that responded to our letter, thus is not in jeopardy of acquiescing to our letter because he did respond within 7 days. He didn't respond to everything, but I didn't require that. And they only do, but anyhow, I digress. Earlier today, I sent this copy to a whole bunch of people on Oregon. It's very similar to what I'm going to read now. And this went out to all of those big shots on Oregon in the de facto. There is incontrovertible evidence that the de facto knows what they are doing. I believe it. The word incontrovertible is not in Black's law. Webster has it. Unalienable is in Black's, not in Webster. There really is an active conspiracy. The industrial, military, judicial, legislative, executive, banker, bar, royalist, Nazi, communist, Muslim, Catholic, Jewish, Georgia Guidestone complex. Every cop knows the police force, the sheriffs, the FBI, the marshals, et al. Are all employees of an incorporated entity. See the Pinkerton Act. You can look it up. So does every judge, magistrate, deputy, clerk, admin, et al. Of the judiciary, including all bar attorneys. As do all members of the executive branch, the de facto is illegitimate and illegal. A business, not government. Government is not incorporated. I state without equivocation, reservation, or evasion. The de facto system is broken, corrupted, and cannot be repaired from within, not by acquiescing to it nor joining it. If you hire an attorney for your corporation, you're in the de facto with your 501c3, your LLC, your subchapter S, as all the cap versions of your name. If you file to run for elected office, you're in the de facto. The illegal and illegitimate must be eliminated. The PERS and the rest of that ilk will not like it. PERS on Oregon is Public Employees Retirement Service. And all of them that are at the public trough are vested in PERS. And would you take it from there for me, Charlie?
Happy to, yes. So it is all color of law federally since March of 1861, when the lawful Congress assembled by the United States of America for the United States closed. It is not lawfully opened or operated since. There is no evidence that it has whatsoever. There is plenty of evidence it has not. There has been a benevolent, predatory form of governance. The benevolent part is gone. So when all of you, and we call it Pino, which is patriots in name only. So when all of you get around to comprehending a few things, persons are acting like people. Persons are all U.S. citizens, usually registered to vote. People are spirit, soul, body, and mind beings, not the corporate fiction of their name in caps, which are persons. De jure people, de facto persons. Now, right now, natural rights inherent in people, we declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. It is a mindset. If you wear a mask while protesting your First Amendment rights, you give up the Fourth. Protest the loss of the First. If you fight in the de facto court against masks, mandate, vax, you are giving them jurisdiction over you. You agree with their 12 presumptions in law. Look it up. A claim of cognizance is in order by the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly's Civilian Court of Record. There is an attachment, and it can be found on our website. Please find the time to talk to someone who will counsel you truthfully. It is obvious you cannot sort this out for yourself. We're all on a learning curve. It is easier to fool someone a second time than to convince them that they were fooled the first time. I know I was ill with cognitive dissonance until 2014. And I'll add that we all have been ill with it until whatever time we deem is appropriate to leave that behind.
And MK Ultra.
Absolutely, and program, yep. There are a lot of controlled opposition, ignorant persons that should be people, agent provocateurs, and wrong and deceitful out there. As Ron says, all cops know who the bad cops are. If you speak up or stand up, you get no backup. Therefore, they all close ranks with the thin blue line around the bad cops. There are no good cops, only those that wish they were good. Misprision of felony. He also says pragmatic persons are willing to compromise their integrity and my freedom, liberty, unalienable rights as codified in our founding documents for their best interests. We have a solution, and you can find it on our website at orsja.org.
Okay. You don't know. You only think you know. I know less than the old man who knew nothing, and he's dead. Rest in peace, Arnie. You have 7, 14, and 21 days to rebut, or you acquiesce to the claims made in this document. This will be used as evidence. Living testimony in the form of an affidavit of truth. I am known as one of the people, clerk of the Civilian Court of Record of the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, Ron Vroman, the common man, private, Ronald Charles Vroman in cursive, on my birth certificate, and as trustee to the Private Membership Association, Ronald Charles Vroman, the straw man, in caps, also known as Ronald Charles Vroman, Private Attorney General by the United States Congress, 42 U.S.C. 1988, and 18 USC 1510 and 18 USC 1512 to be known as one of the people, also qualified criminal investigator, federal witness, and by living testimony without rebuttal, status identified and without rebuttal in the City of Beaverton Public Record, Beaverton Municipal Court, in the United States Federal District Court, Portland. U.S. Navy veteran 515-9365 discharged. That was hard to get. They lie again. The flesh and blood, soul, body, mind, spirit of man on Oregon, an Oregonian and continuous traveler, a non-U.S. citizen, born August 14, 1938, Reno, Nevada, with two ancestors, a father and son, direct bloodline that fought for New York in our revolution. My mother's father, born Stockwell Gonzalez, 1876, New Mexico. General delivery, Beaverton, Oregon, 97005, 503-893-0793, Ron Vroman 38 at gmail.com. Here's one, full faith and credit. I was talking to Mike School, and he said, is full faith and credit still in effect? Well, I hope so. We write it on all this paperwork. He said, okay, it was on Facebook and he saw it from his telephone, so he didn't have anything to back it up. But he said Pennsylvania's Supreme Court found today that mass and I don't know how much else was unconstitutional and a nullity. Now, I don't know whether that's true or not. I haven't seen it myself, but I'm going to go looking right after we finish this. The
But we
next
know
thing
it's true. But we
do
know
we?
it's true.
It,
No, intuitively, we
oh
know
yeah,
it's true.
yeah. We know it's right. We don't need to see the
No, we
document.
do not.
Yeah,
Sorry for
uh,
interrupting.
you're not. The next thing is, let me show you here. I, I would hate for any of you guys to think I was bullshitting. Let's see. With full faith and credit. Can you see that right there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. With full faith and credit, governing laws established in this document at this time to be the Declaration of Independence, Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union, Oregon's original Constitution circa 1859, and the United States of America's Constitution circa 1859, ORCP 20A, Clearfield Doctrine, Accardi Doctrine, Ex parte Young, Ex parte Milligan, McCarran-Walters Act, 1952, Judiciary Act, 1789, Section 32, Judgment Nil-Hil Dicit, are all specifically called into this document. They are all governing law, which must be accepted. The current 13th and 14th Amendment are bogus and must be rejected. Take heed of the Blackstone commentaries. The DOJ is agent to the entity responsible for the enumerated requirements of Article 3, the one Supreme Court that must claim original jurisdiction to be a court. I would consider to have jurisdiction when found in conjunction with Amendment 7 Court. The DOJ has failed miserably in their responsibility. We must do it ourselves. We define the words we use. We decide our method of communication. This communique was not intended to mislead, defraud, deceive, or threaten in any way, and is submitted in good faith with clean hands. I do lawful, not legal, and this is my best effort. I close with love, peace, harmony, and a prayer. The U.S. Marshal has determined that my prayer is not a threat. And then he reneged on his word, which is only good one time. Praise the Lord and pass the ammunition. On Oregon, without the state of Oregon, Richard and I had a good long conversation, didn't get anything straightened out. We got to find this information out when we get to the archives.
Mm-hmm.
It's Can you guys see that? Yeah, you can see that.
Yes.
State
Yes.
of Oregon. Okay.
Yes.
It makes a difference how it's spelled. Is it State of Oregon all caps like I have it here and is on the flag? Or is it State of Oregon in upper lower case like Richard has it in the article in the United States Congress that made Oregon a state in 1859? But we can't get the real documents from the state, the National Archives, nor from Milt, which we ought to be able to. But in any case, on Oregon, without the state of Oregon, which is the corporate entity, we are not with that. Within the United States of America, the constitutional Republican form of government, the de jure. You guys got anything you want to add to that?
Well, I do. I don't know if it's timely to bring this up, but you said earlier that you didn't know, you somehow you felt that it is important that Webster's has a definition of a word and then it doesn't have a definition of another word like unalienable. Well, these are all really, they are very important. And part of it is because it's color of law. And as we go along, they keep dropping in new words in the dictionary, but they also eliminate words that are no longer in the best interest of whomever is publishing it. The other thing, and so it's a good example of color of law because that happens as we go along, where something doesn't seem pertinent, but I can't imagine why they would leave that out. I mean, it's pretty significant that they would. The other thing is,
what's worse is that they change the definitions and leave the word.
Yeah,
and
that's true too.
That one generation to the next.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's a perversion. It's perverting or altering or changing something, and it's just like destroying the statues that are our history. That they want to eliminate or eradicate our understanding or our inner standing of the truth of who we are and how we are grounded and our roots. The other thing I wanted to say about the words, whether they're there or not, is that we know that words are a vibration. The language, the speaking is a vibration. Vibration is what we are. It's energy. And so the words, the spelling of the words, and the even the letters matter. If you look at gematria, for example, and it is actually the God code. So we know that the Cabal uses the gematria to their advantage, when in fact gematria proves the perfectness or the perfection of the creation. When you look at how the letters and numbers work. I yield.
I got a little something to say on spelling. Somewhere on the internet, YouTube, I came across a guy that was giving a really good talk. And he gave a good talk on spelling and what spelling means and writing out words and all of that stuff. And it made a lot of sense. Just like that guy, Russell-J. Gould. When you listen to him, it makes a lot of sense. And people that believe or profess to believe in flat Earth, if you read the people that write about that in an intelligent way, They're intelligent people making a really good argument that I find to be unacceptable. Just like people make arguments that the whole trip to the moon was done on Nevada and they never did go to the moon. And I have no way of telling. I really don't. But on the guy that was talking about spelling and writing out each letter, and they were actually spells that people were putting on other people. Okay, if the level of technology of what somebody is showing to you is so far above your own technology, you will think it's magic. And one of the things that the British showed to the Africans in uh, South Africa, uh, they were mighty warriors. Zulu, I think, Shaka Khan, and all that stuff comes to mind. Whether any of it's true, I don't know. But they would write something on a piece of paper, and one of the men of the tribe would accompany the piece of paper to the other person, and he knew what was on the paper because he heard it said when it was written down. And he took it and gave it to another guy, and the other guy read the same words. And the Zulu went, "Whoa, that's magic." They had no written language. They couldn't comprehend how you could scratch on a piece of material that they had never seen before with an item they had never seen before, a pencil, words spelled out, and send it across the meeting place to another guy that could read it. It's just like if, you know, you showed a seamstress in Betsy Ross's era Velcro. She'd go, "Whoa, what is this shit?" You know, it's the same thing. That's what spelling is. The people, I think, that say, "Woo, woo, woo, woo," spelling is. No, it's not.
Well,
A bunch
kind
of
of.
guys.
When you think about how this works, it only matters to people that can actually understand the spell. I speak English. I can pick out a couple of words out of some other languages because they're, all based on Latin, But if you're walking through a park and you see a sign on the ground that says, "Don't walk on the grass," you're most likely not going to walk on the grass. But if somebody, you're going to walk on the grass and some guy was sitting over there on the bench and said, "Hey, don't walk on the grass," you'd freaking tell him, "Get lost, dude. I'm going to walk on the grass." So really these spells are for people that can understand them, like looking for the 33 and that means Mason stuff, or the pyramid. Oh, look, I just did it, and now everybody's going to think that I'm a Mason because I just did the sign, or the 666 symbol or whatever. It only means something to somebody that's been brainwashed to believe that that actually means something. But what's funny about it is that how a person reacts to these things, you can tell what type of person they are and where they've been because of that. It's kind of interesting in that way, but it's kind of a spell on those people that understand or have been brainwashed in that direction, right?
It can be used for many different reasons. It can be used to clue in those who speak that particular spelling language. It can be emphasized by frequency of use or by iterations of it, like 1 6. But if you put 2 6s together or 3 6s, it has more power.
11,
So if you use words, which are vibrations, repeatedly, you're programming because you're telling someone something repeatedly enough that you end up being hypnotized basically by those words in repetition. So the language and the vibration that comes with it is really powerful. And we just take it for granted. We don't really think about it a whole lot, but it's very important. And then, of course, if you call in a spirit, which we know there are, and there's the physical and the metaphysical, but in the metaphysical world, we have a spirit here in body, but there are spirits that we create with our mind. There are spirits that are outside of us that really do have influence and can impose themselves on our psyche, in our ideas. We create entities with our ideas. So there's a lot to it, and you can empower an idea or a letter or a word with these entities, these spirits.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on.
About the plans that you are going to go forward, or somebody else's plans that are going to go forward, that could actually make it actually happen, and it might not happen before they said it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, invoke a prayer. That's why we pray before we have our meetings and before we interview, because we are of God. That is our creator. That's why we're here. We're flesh and blood, mind, body, man, spirit, woman. It's all really important that we stay connected in that, in our awareness all the time, that we never forget what a precious thing this life energy that we were given from our creator is, because there is always someone who's going to want to take that away from us or impose something on us that we really don't want to allow, because we are acting as servants to our creator. That's why I'm here. I'm here for the benefit of my creator, and I benefit from being here because of it. So, service to other.
We should all think for our free will.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, guys. I wanted to say those things, and I'm so delighted that you said the things you said.
It's a nice show, a nice bunch of people.
All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, everybody, for watching our show. You can go to our website, orsja.org, and click on Brighteon or YouTube channel links for more.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying, and then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up.
And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, just shoot me then. This is what you want, to shoot me. And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.